Whoops. Uh-oh. Microphone's giant in the picture today because I have the iPad oriented the wrong way. But yo, what's going on, everybody? It is a little bit after 3 o'clock today here in Chicago, Wednesday afternoon. Uh, hope you guys are having a good day today. Oh, my hair looks really particularly goofy today. And well, that's just gonna have to be how things are. Hopefully, you guys have had a great day so far today. My day's been pretty interesting. I've been attending a like a day-long virtual conference, one that's running related, so not like my regular work related. And um, uh, it was for like a whole bunch of outdoor brands, and they were all kind of presenting what their plans were for like the rest of this year, or potentially even into next year. And I was just kind of checking it out, watching the different brand presentations. Oops, sorry, knocked over the microphone. Sorry, guys. So just watching these different brand presentations, and then as I'm watching it, there's a Q&A section, and as I'm watching it, I see there's a question coming in from Jameson Michael, and I was like, oh boy, Jamie's here today too. So that was pretty funny. And then Hoka was one of the brands that was presenting. And so that was pretty cool to see. They have some really cool stuff coming up. I mean, I think some of you guys have seen some of the stuff already in terms of like I think I've seen some people have videos on the Clifton 7 already and the Rincon 2. So some of those things are coming up. Saw some other things as well. And I got a sense of some of the calendar dates. So that was kind of cool. But then I saw Jameson's question because he asked a question to the guy that was talking from Tracksmith. And then when the Hoka guy came on, I asked a question about all the shoes they were showing were like different colored shoes, like not black versions, like very colorful ones, ones that I had kind of seen before. And so I asked a question somewhat seriously of like, so are these going to come out in black, or is that going to be the release dates that you just mentioned is like the black colorway different? And he was saying, well, for some of those shoes, black and white are like core colors, so they'll be available at launch. So I was like, that's all I wanted to know. And then Jameson followed that up with another question saying, like, I hear the Clifton is good for runners, but what about for joggers like myself? Will we like the Cliftons? And so I started laughing like crazy. Now I'm muted. I'm not like they don't see me, they don't hear me. So I'm just starting to die laughing. And then one of the organizers, the guy that invited me and apparently also Jamie, was like, everybody, just so you know, we're very glad to have participation from our media friends. But Jameson Runs is no slouch, he's no jogger. And then Michael Coe is known for liking his black shoes. So it was pretty funny. And then we got kind of slapped on the wrist a little bit. So hopefully people didn't take that like offense to that. We didn't mean any insult to it. We were just kind of keep things lively and just make it so it wasn't like just like here's our products, here's the release dates. You know, I wanted to make it more like, I mean, there's a live chat, there's a live Q&A section there for a reason. Everyone else could like just like submit questions if they wanted to. And so I don't think that we were taken away from anyone's ability to learn about the product or anything. So just trying to keep it lively, make sure, you know, make it feel like it's a community there. So that's all that was going on. But just wanted to get that. Oh, my connection is glitching out. Uh-oh. Sorry about that. Hopefully that doesn't keep happening. Sorry if that's going on, everybody. But good to see everyone in here today. Luis Becerra, J. Mike Remy, Gonzala, Espinosa, Hardcore Snowman. Let me know if I'm still glitching out. Tom AK, Chris, Ross Paul. Ross Paul says, "Hey, Kofuzi, will you be doing a 100-mile review of the Brooks Hyperion Tempo?" Yes, once I can get to 100 miles, I will. It's one of my favorite shoes, so I definitely will be running more in it. Natalie Tom says, the best part of my day has begun. Awesome. Thanks for doing those videos. That's great. You flatter me with that compliment there. But I'm glad to have you here, and I'm glad that you've been enjoying it. I feel like I'm getting a little bit too much light right now. Not enough light. I think, no, certainly. There, I think that's a good amount of light. But yeah, I've been really enjoying it. The brands that are talking now, I've never heard of them before, so I don't feel bad. So I'm gonna look over here. Um, because I set up my iPad, the camera's on this side rather than this side usually today. It should have been, I normally put it on this side because this is where the comments are, because then I could look at the comments and it looks like I'm looking at you. But now I have to look over here and look at the comments, so sorry about that. But the brands that are going on right now, I've never heard of before. So I'm gonna take a little bit of a break, talk to you guys, and then I'll jump back in because there's some more brands that I want to hear from later this afternoon. Buff and Camelback. So that should be pretty interesting. My mom's here. Stevie76 is here. What's going on, everybody? David Sachs, Motivation Theory Running's here. Hey, what's going on? Derek Dixon. What show am I talking about? It wasn't a show. It was like it was a Zoom meeting. It was supposed to be like a brand seminar for outdoor brands, like different outdoor sports brands. Like Cotopaxi was there. Hoka is the one where Jamie and I got like kind of scolded a little bit. Um, and Tracksmith. So were some of the brands that were there, and some other ones that people that make like hiking boots and like camping equipment. Really cool stuff, but stuff that I don't really have use for. I don't really camp. I don't know how to camp. I love it when people take me camping, but I would never plan a camping trip by myself, that kind of thing. So that's just where we're at, and I'll be heading back there in a little bit. Running with Pete says, yo, Kofuzi, what's going on? 97 degrees in Phoenix with a high of 104, but the morning runs are still comfortable in the low 70s. I mean, that's what's nice about the desert, right? Um, those times like in the early morning, it's supposed to be pretty manageable, right? Um, but normal times this time of year are 80 to 90 degrees, so it's time to acclimate. Well, yeah, so it seems like you guys are hitting summer pretty early. Um, Guillermo Munoz says, this is the first time you listen to the live show. Pretty cool. Cheers from Boston. Awesome. Welcome. Glad to have you here. I hope you enjoy it. Um, I've been recording these like on this microphone here and putting them up on podcast format for some of you guys who have mentioned that you wanted to be able to take it with you. Um, but like, I hopefully it's still interesting. And that's why I've been trying to do some themes to have some like kind of conversation starters. Um, And so that's kind of why I wanted to do that. So hopefully it's still interesting, even if you're not participating live. But I think the best way to do it is live. Let's see. Lauren Hinault Brunette says, a bit of crackling audio. Yeah, it definitely is coming from these earbuds. Maybe it's time to retire these. These are earbuds that got sent to me that were, I felt like their audio quality was a little bit better, so I've been using them. Maybe it's time to work on something else. I am working on something else though, ultimately. What I would like to do is to be able to use this microphone for the live stream and then use a lav mic to record separately to go to the podcast. So I got to work that out a little bit, but I'm just ordering some parts from and like pieces of equipment from Amazon to be able to do that. Unfortunate thing is I have a lot of that stuff at my office. I just don't want to go downtown and to work to go get them. And they're also for work and not for this. So I don't want to like cannibalize too much stuff. What's going on? Mark sound check coming in from North Suburbs. All right, cool. Mark Trujillo said ran 10K today in sunny Oregon. Oh, that's cool because I think you've been having some gloomy weather in Oregon, haven't you? Had to pick up the pace and finish in time to watch. What's funny is in the morning live streams, I have to frequently pick up the pace to make it back home in time. So I know the feeling. All right, so what I wanted to do today to kind of get the ball rolling was to talk about 5 bingeable shows. We kind of started talking about it in the morning live stream today, like things that I've been binging. But I don't really watch TV, and so like I haven't seen shows like I've seen Westworld a little bit, but I've never seen like Better Call Saul. I don't think I ever saw Breaking Bad more than like a couple of minutes of an episode once. Like Walking Dead, like I never watched those. I watch like the morning news, um, and then I watch YouTube. So I thought for my 5 bingeable shows, I thought I would go with stuff that you can find on YouTube. And I think the whole way it came up is because I was talking about how I have recorded the NBC's like Olympic channel broadcast years 2014 through 2019 Boston marathons, and I've been watching those like nonstop. Well, not nonstop, like nonstop when I watch TV, instead of watching like CNN and like the other like newsy news because it's been depressing and not that helpful. And so I've been doing that, and I've been really enjoying that. So that's where this 5 comes from. And yeah, motivation theory running. We talked about Arrested Development. But I wanted to go with stuff that everyone could watch because then I was thinking, well, then if I do the list, I got to talk about where you can stream it, that kind of thing. All this stuff is available on YouTube, stuff that I'm going to talk about. And I think it's pretty, and most of it's not running, although the first 2 are. So let me pick up my list here. The first one, and I'll say, is because I've been enjoying watching the Boston Marathon replays. The Houston Marathon, ABC 13 in Houston, has been live streaming the Houston Marathon, as well as leaving that live stream or the video of it up so you can watch 2020, 2019, and 2018. So that's like, well, like the way they do it, it's like 3 or 4 hours. The video is long, so you can watch tons of coverage and local coverage of those races. So that's like that could be like the first thing to watch. That's available. All these are going to be available on YouTube. And what I'll do is I'll post links to all of these. I'll just post a link to my top 5 playlist that I made. I'll talk to you guys about, and I'll put there's all of these videos are in that top 5 playlist, and I'll put a link to the top 5 playlist in like the show notes for the podcast and also the description for this video. So if you're watching it later, you can check them out. The second thing that I'll talk about is Salomon TV. Now, Salomon TV, like the YouTube channel itself, has lots of like how-to videos, product videos, and stuff that's not about running. But they also have like a subsection of their channel called Salomon TV, and they make really beautiful like mini running documentaries. Documentaries. I don't know why I'm not pronouncing that right. Documentaries. One that probably most of the people have seen is Every Single Street, where that guy runs every single street in San Francisco. He does it in a pair of Salomon Predict RAs. So that's a really a beautiful documentary. The other two that I like are The Trail Camp, which is about kids that live in the city, but people take them out to these like trail camps in the summertime, and they just get to run a whole bunch. It's beautiful. And another one I like is Kungsleden, which is a woman tries to run an FKT through some absolutely beautiful terrain, and it's just wonderful storytelling. So I really like that. KU Mamiya says, what about Doha World Championship full replays? Yeah. Are they being uploaded to YouTube? That's awesome. Because I remember I watched a lot of the Diamond League races this year over the summer. Or was it the summer or was it the fall? Yeah, it would have been like last summer. I remember watching a lot of the Diamond League races, and those were just absolutely fascinating to watch. The World Marathon Championships in Doha, that was insane, like the heat and just the people just dropping out left and right was crazy. But those were definitely fun to watch for sure. Um, Along those lines, with the Diamond League, that's a great segue to my third pick is Jelle's marble run. Now on Instagram the other day, we had my daughters had made a marble run, and I filmed with 360 camera, like the marble just going through like the different paths. And someone was like, "You should check out Jelle's marble run, JELLE''S." And that channel, it's huge. It's just marbles, but it's a huge channel, and I can see why. And one of the things they have is called Marble League, where the guy has set up like a track, but instead of athletes, he uses Legos and marbles are the people, and the marbles race down a track. There's a relay event, which I think is really quite fascinating. So that's been fun to watch. I've been losing a lot of time to that. You get sucked in, and that's ultimately what you want of something that's bingeable. I got 2 more that I want to go over. The next one is a real weird one. Is Kitboga. Kitboga. I think Kitboga lives somewhere in the Midwest, somewhere near Chicago, if I'm not wrong. But he's a guy that knows a little bit about computers. I don't know exactly what he does. I suppose he's in IT somehow. And he will intentionally like just harass and troll phone scammers, people that try to scam him. And I don't know if I've told you guys this before, but one of my like hobbies is whenever I get like spam phone calls, is whenever I have time for it, is to just keep the spammer on the line for as long as possible just to waste their time. Because the way I think about it is like for spammers, it's a numbers game. Like they hurry up and get no's, 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 and then they find the yes. Someone that will like that they can trick into giving them money. So if it only works because it's a numbers game, I just try to skew all their numbers by taking as long as possible. But it also, whenever you respond to like a phone scammer, it like does something where they put you on a list or something, or in their databases or something. I don't know how it works, but you get more spam phone calls. So it was becoming like a real big problem for me that I was spending too much time on it. And so this is a nice way that I can get that out of my system. Someone else is really wasting their time. He did one where he spent like a day with spammers, just hours and hours and hours on end, multiple spammers like to trade it because it took so long. And he'll just harass them and trick them and make them just frustrated. And I love watching it. He has a 2019 like recap video, which is really funny. And so that one I'll post a link to. So if you hate phone scammers, this is something that is worth a watch. He pretends he's an old lady sometimes. He pretends he's a cowboy sometimes. And so it gets pretty funny. And the last one I'll talk to you about is Simone Giertz. And you guys probably know who Simone Giertz is. She makes useless robots. I think that's how she frames it. Really just absolutely hilarious. And she goes about like her thought process and how she makes it and why she's making it. And it's just really hilarious. And it's just like pure curiosity in a video. And it's really entertaining. And so I really like that. That's my number 5. And then, because I like to give bonuses, the bonus that I'll give you is Joseph's Machines. Now, this is a guy that all he does is make like Rube Goldberg machines, and they are just absolutely intricate and amazing. And they usually involve eating, which I think is hilarious and funny. And there's usually also a twist because you think, oh, that wasn't that long. That one only took 7 seconds to do this one. That was a short, small one. But then, then there's another stage, and it's like another minute and a half long, and it just becomes amazing. Um, I think he's out of Manhattan right now. And what's interesting is he's been posting and making more videos throughout like the quarantine and stay-at-home place orders, stay-in-place orders. And my local news here in Chicago actually had him on and interviewed him a couple of days ago. So I thought that was pretty funny. Like my Twitter world and like my morning news world like collided, and it was just super fascinating. So those are the things that I've been binging a lot lately, watching old marathon races, which seems really nerdy, and it kind of is. It definitely is. Um, and old like running documentaries, well, not old, but running documentaries, and like everything from like harassing um, phone scammers and people that just have like a lot of creativity and time on their hands and like just pursuing curiosity. So let me know what you guys have been watching and binging a lot of on YouTube because I'd love to see that. All right, now I'm gonna while you guys are getting those thoughts together, I'm gonna look through some of these comments here and see what's going on. Good to see everyone here. And sorry to kind of ramble. I'm still trying to figure out like this format. Like, how do I make it where it's still you guys are getting a lot out of it, but then also people that are listening are getting something out of it. So I'm figuring it out. So I apologize if I'm a little bit awkward. Let's see. Um, KU Mamiya says, oh, okay, talk about the audio being crackly. Hopefully it's not too crackly today. Maybe it's because of all this extra hair is getting in the way. My hair, I need a haircut so bad. I was actually looking up clippers, like hair clippers online today on Amazon, seeing if I could get some. Debating whether or not just to get a mustache trimmer or a mustache trimmer that can also do buzz cuts for like my regular hair. I'm not sure. Ross Paul says, thank you, new subscriber here, great videos. Thanks for watching, Ross, and welcome. Good to see you. Cody Davis says, a little off topic, but have you ever run in rabbit gear? Is the quality worth the price? I think it's Run Rabbit is the name of the company. I have one shirt from Run Rabbit. It was a shirt that I got at a Hoka event. So it's made by Run Rabbit, but has Hoka branding on it. And it is super comfortable, really lightweight. It's almost like, it feels like silk. And it's a fantastic shirt. I don't know how much it would cost regularly, but that shirt I absolutely love. But it's very like flowy and like billowy almost. That's the only thing that I've tried from them. But I know there's a lot of people that just absolutely love it, absolutely love their gear. So they have like a somewhat of a cult following. But that is a brand that I've been meaning to look more into, especially some of their shorts. Gonzalo Espinosa says, by any chance, do you know if the Garmin 245 is good with GPS tracking? Because right now I got the Fitbit Versa, but I want to take it to another level by running with breakthrough hours on the marathon. Yeah, I mean, the thing about GPS watches and the GPS accuracy, it's going to do a little bit with the watch. But as far as I understand from watching like a whole bunch of DC Rainmaker videos, is that most of the watch companies are using the same like 1 or 2 GPS radios. But the other thing that I've heard from talking to people at Polar is that even the same components within the same brand, like different Polar watches, for example, could have different levels of accuracy. And that's because the radios work well or less well, or I guess better, depending on how like well spaced out the components are within the watch. So that like when a watch gets super thin, that impacts its ability to maintain GPS signal accurately, is my understanding. And so it kind of the answer is they're all pretty much the same with some slight variations. But I think that if you're going from the Fitbit Versa, which I'm pretty sure piggybacks off of your phone GPS, phone GPS, especially like iPhone, I don't know about other ones, but I know my understanding on the iPhone GPS is that it does a lot of borrowing from like Wi-Fi signals and hotspots and stuff to triangulate position when it doesn't get a good GPS signal. And so that's great for getting turn-by-turn directions, I think, but not as much for getting accuracy with running. And so that's where like Fitbit Versa and like using your phone to track your activities can be a little bit problematic. So I think the 245, I don't have any experience with 245. I have experience with the 45, which is an even cheaper watch. And I felt like the GPS accuracy on that one was pretty good. So I think that the answer is when you're going from like a dedicated GPS watch versus a phone, I think you're going to see improvements in GPS accuracy. But if you're in, in an urban area or in an area where GPS signals are just difficult to attain accurately in a repeatable way, you might want to get a foot pod. Let's say. Dan Rodriguez says, I only asked because you mentioned that you have considered it. How many subscribers would you need to quit your day job? I don't know that it's a matter of like subscribers isn't the right metric for it. Like monthly revenue would be the better metric for it. And right now, ad revenue is down like 30% for me, even though subscribers are up and growing at a faster rate than ever. So like that's like a weird thing. It's not really about the money. It's that I like my job, or I did like my job. Now that I've been home for a long time, it's like I'm not sure I'm gonna want to go back later. Um, but I'm sure that I'll feel differently about it when it's finally time to go back. So I mean, I don't know. Is the answer. My wife and I have been talking about a lot of stuff during these times. Like, do we still want to live in a city that's very congested? It's very efficient from an energy standpoint and from a commuting standpoint and a resource standpoint, but it also has, as we've seen, its share of vulnerabilities as well. But we've ultimately decided no major life decisions during our pandemic. So we'll wait till things kind of like settle a little bit before we start making like these drastic, giant life changes. So it's still something that I'm thinking about. But right now I'm getting a flavor for like what that would feel like, and it's pretty fun. I gotta tell you. Um, let's see. Yeah, Luis Becerra says Salomon TV, the Killian Jornet episodes are spectacular. Yeah, it's definitely super super interesting. They do such a good job. I really also like the non-running ones as well because they do a lot of ski or snow episodes. So I don't know that I watch every single one, but I do enjoy them quite a bit. They're always very like artfully done. The only problem is sometimes none of them are very like light, it seems. Even though like the happier ones are like tinged with melancholy a lot of the time, and so like you have to be in the right like mood to watch them a lot. That's kind of how I feel, and that's how I feel like about like Billy Yang's videos a lot of the times. So I can't always just sit down and be like, oh, new Billy Yang video, I want to watch it. Sometimes I'll be like, I want to watch that, just not right now, because it has that kind of like gravitas to it. Maybe is the right word. Um, let's see, Ricky Gates, yeah, that's the guy that he's the guy that did the Every Street in San Francisco. That man is really something special. That was a really good episode. Um, really fascinating. I love like I like that he had like a paper map. I thought that was super cool. Um, Nathan says, how are things? Things are good here. It's been raining all day, so it's a little bit dreary, but other than that, can't complain. Cheryl Nat says, if you want to watch some old school Bulls games, there are a lot up on YouTube right now. Fun to watch Jordan and remember the 90s. See, the thing is, I grew up in New Jersey in the 90s, and so like I did not enjoy watching the Bulls' success because I was an avid Knicks fan. So that would not be something that I would really do. Like everyone's been watching what's the documentary? The Last Dance? Is that what it is? And I'm like, are you watching that? It's awesome. I'm like, I'm not watching it because it wouldn't be awesome for me. um, 100 Head, Heart, Feet, great documentary of a family man running the Vermont 100. Very cool. Um, Stephen Corey says the guy who does the marble races is autistic. He and his brother were on ESPN towards the start of the lockdown. That's cool. I didn't know that. That's amazing. He does also sports commentary of all the races as if they were like legitimate sports. Um, I don't think he's doing it. I think he's considering it like it's a legitimate sport too. Maybe that like the autism maybe is coloring that a little bit. But like it reminded me in a way a lot of like Joe Buck, the announcer for Fox Sports, who's been like announcing people's like videos that they've been submitting, like people walking their dogs, taking out the trash, like doing household chores. Like Joe Buck's been announcing it like it's a professional sport. Um, I've seen some like soccer announcers in Europe doing the same thing, like when like two dogs eating out of their dog food dishes and like treating it like it was some sort of race, which I think has been really funny. And so like that's another part. So if you're sports starved, I think the Marlboro Run races are definitely something you should check out because I was getting into it. I was definitely getting into it. The other thing that I like is every episode or every like show or video, there's like always like a find the secret marble. So there's like a special marble that he shows you on the screen. You have to find where it is in the entire course. And the courses are just giant and like super expansive. It's amazing. Michael Sard says he had a 5 mile treadmill interval run today. Awesome with Zwift. Cool. Anyone have recommendations on shoes for treadmill? Let's see. Some people are running in the Epic Reacts, and I think that's a good one. I think the nice thing about running on the treadmill is that pretty much anything goes. So you can run in whatever you want, and you're not going to go wrong because the treadmill itself is a little bit bouncy, and so it's a more forgiving material. So like you can, I mean, the only time it thing that I might be cautious of is like if you're a neutral runner, don't run in a stability shoe, and if you're a stability shoe runner, don't run in a neutral shoe. But in terms of like worrying about like what's the best cushion, just run in something that's comfortable. You can run in like gym shoes, stuff that you wear to go work out, lift weights, and that'll be fine as long as you're not running like 15 miles. But like um, even then, you'd probably still be okay as long as you're not doing that like regularly. But yeah, so like some of my favorite ones are the ones that have just like very low stack height and not a lot of cushion to it, because you don't need to carry like that weight on your feet because you could just have something that's pretty minimal and stripped down. Quib, QB says hi, runner from France here. Oh, awesome. Calm O'Brien says hi, Kofuzi, great vlog. Thank you so much. Stevie76 says, always love NBC's coverage of the Ironman Championship and their cheesy stories that make you want to cry. My sister sometimes works on some of those, not for Ironman, but for the Olympics. So that's part of like what she does is make those stories and like make sure like that all that footage gets taken care of and like the stories are getting put together. And I've told her, but she already knows. I mean, obviously, she hasn't as part of the NBC organization. They know it. It's the stories that like make the sport interesting. Otherwise, it's just a sport and it's a contest. But like when you're like emotionally connected to the characters, that's what makes it like compelling television. And yeah, definitely, it's the stories. I think that. John Bryan asks, "What do I think of Normatec?" I think they make great recovery boots. I think that they're awesome. I like them a lot. I just wish they weren't so expensive. I wish there were a way that like we could have that cheaper. Let's see. J. Mike Remy says, didn't even mention Hot Ones. I know I didn't, but I've already talked about Hot Ones. I made a specific video about my 5 favorite Hot Ones episodes. That's why I've already done like a 5 of Hot Ones. So I thought it'd be like kind of cheap to either do that or to talk about Catfish, the TV show, because I've been talking a lot about Catfish, the TV show lately. And so that's definitely a bingeable show. It's on MTV. You could probably get, if you have like a deep cable service, you could probably get it on like the on demand. But you can also watch a lot of episodes on YouTube. Now, can you? No, I don't think they're on YouTube. I used to watch it at work, but I was watching it through my cable account. Um, so that's what that was. But yeah, those are two shows. But I felt like those would be obvious. So I wanted to like dig deeper and like kind of get some stuff that's not even, well, not that Hot Ones or Catfish are running related, but like get ones that like people wouldn't be thinking of, just to kind of give people more options because we're like, everyone's however many weeks into staying at home. So like you probably already have burned through all the stuff you normally watch. So I'm trying to give you some fresh stuff from, not from the bottom of the barrel, but I'm just trying to stir the pot a little bit. Um, let's say Stevie76 says Clippers are all sold out. They're not sold out on Amazon. They just cost like 3 times as what they normally do, and it's going to take you a month to get them. That's what I found. Um, Recycle on Wednesdays, Recycle, is that what this is? Recycle on Wednesday says, I like Taskmaster, which is a comedy problem solving show out of the UK. They've been doing a home tasking series during quarantine that's great fun too. The show isn't kid friendly though. Okay, that's good to know. Is that kind of like was it those something escape rooms? Is like escape rooms, kind of like that? I wonder. I'll have to check that out, see if I can find it in the U.S. By the way, Kitboga is the only one on that show, that list of um, YouTube channels and shows that I mentioned. That one is definitely not kid friendly because sometimes the telemarketers or the scammers get really feisty. I mean, that's when it's the funniest, but it's like, I really applaud their knowledge. They're usually, I don't think any of the episodes he's had are they native English speakers, but their um, fluency and their command of English profanities is pretty impressive. Like, I could not yell at someone in a foreign language like the way they can. Just, I don't have that. Like, I don't have the command of any other language, especially not the curse words, to be able to do that. So it's impressive. Um, um, Let's see. Chris Bear says, "Hey, I like the hat. What brand is it? If you don't mind me asking." Quarantine hair is trying to get to, so I'm currently in the market for a hat to run in. Yeah. It is Cieli. Um, no, there it is, right there. It's that company. I think it's French Canadian. They make. I think they primarily start out in bicycle gear. That's my understanding. But it's super comfortable and it's very ventilated. And I think that like it's the same company, if not the same model of hat, that like the Ben Parks hats are. So if you want to support Ben Parks and get a hat like this, you can. This is not a Ben Parks hat though. This is Run for Good, not Run the World. So, um, but the hat is wonderful to bike and also to ride in. Stevie76 is saying I could be a full-time YouTuber, part-time lawyer. Well, I mean, like, I'm not really a lawyer. I have a law degree, but I don't technically practice. I don't have any clients in the attorney-client sense of the word. Um, let's see. John Bryan says, the first motivation theory running says Killian is such a beast, and then John Bryan says uh, he's retired from running and working with Solomon with adventure types of videos, I think. Yeah. Cody Davis says, been binge watching the track and field world championships on YouTube. Cool. I didn't know that those were all on there. I'll have to look. I mean, I know like places like Flow Track, like post like races, but I just didn't know how widespread it was. Like if you could watch like an entire meet, not like at once, but like to watch like multiple events from the same like event at one time. That'd be kind of cool. Um, Yeah, running with Pete says he's watching The Last Dance. And CB76 says New Jersey Knicks, New Jersey Nets. Um, did I say New Jersey Knicks? Growing up, like uh, the New Jersey Nets, even though I was from New Jersey, they were on a different sports channel that was an extra level of payment on the cable subscription. But the Knicks and the Rangers were, at least where I lived in at the time, like when Mark Messier played for the Rangers, um, they were on MSG Network, Madison Square Garden Network, which was included in your basic cable subscription. And so, like, lots more people were Knicks and Rangers fans than they were Nets and Devils fans. And then, like, the Devils won the Stanley Cup, and then everyone was suddenly a Devils fan, but I wasn't. Um, let's see. Louis Becerra says, "Don't worry, because you can watch Jordan dunk on you." Ha ha ha. Sorry, I had to say it. Yeah, yeah. You know what? I used to have a poster in my room of John Starks dunking on Michael Jordan and Horace Grant. That was like the poster up in my room. Um, Running with Pizza, as we finally started watching Ozark recently. I cannot stop watching. That one looked pretty good. Looked real good. But like ever since I had kids, which is a long time ago now, since my daughter's 8, I just have not been able to really watch a lot of like serious drama. Like I don't have the energy for it. I like just comedies and things that are light and things that I don't have to like really pay attention to. So I don't know. My viewing habits have definitely changed. Um, Recycle on Wednesday says, it's so cool that your sister works on the Olympic storytelling. That's definitely the best part. Um, I mean, I don't know if that's still exactly what she does now. She got a promotion recently and she's been doing it for a long time, but like, and I still really don't know like what she actually like does, like when she shows up to work on any given day. Um, but at one point that was a big part of her job. So, but I'll let her know that it's definitely well appreciated. And I've been telling her like people are starved for running content like on TV. So like, I anticipate that they're going to get better ratings than they ever had. And hopefully I'm right on that. 'Cause she's like, "You sure? Why?" And I'm like, "Running's more popular than it's ever been, and people want to watch it." All right. Um, let's see. Lauren, I know Brunette says, gonna have to watch all the Doha events now because of you, Kofuzi. Yeah, I mean, I don't know that they're all there, but like the marathon, when I watched that one on TV, that was a pretty intense race. Um, and like you like really got an insight into a lot of strategy because it definitely wasn't like a lot of people's A races and people weren't all that excited about running like even if though the race started at like midnight like and running in that heat. So it was kind of really interesting to see who was really willing to fight for it. Um, let's see. Stevie 76, your proficiency in American profanity is impressive. Yeah, I mean, I say that to a lot of telemarketers too. I try to compliment them. I try to be nice sometimes. But sometimes, they just get you riled up. They're good at that. All right, I gotta get going soon, but let's see. I got a couple more questions in it. John Bryan says, Kofuzi, do you think getting a Normatec is worth it? Um, I would say it's really expensive. That's the thing. And like there's cheaper things that you can do. Like you could sit, with your feet against the wall and like have your legs up. So you're draining a lot more fluid. That kind of has a similar type of effect. And you can drink more water and get more sleep. But if you can't do any of those three things, like I usually can't get more sleep, then Normatec I think is worth it. I just feel like it really just helps keep everything flushed and clean in terms of your system. I also think that it's a really nice way to like make you relax and like think about like recovering. So like it forces you to pause in a way. It's kind of like it's weird. It's unfortunate that like we have to spend great deals of money in order to relax these days, right? But like think about like all the apps that are like distraction-free writing apps that are like they like lock out all your notifications and they have no buttons except for like a cursor and a page and you just have to start writing like those kinds of things. We have to go to great lengths to kind of like make ourselves focus, and I think the Normatec does that. So there's a lot of different levels where I think that it certainly could be worth it, but it also is a lot of money, and so that's the other thing that I kind of keep into consideration. But then again, I'm not like a huge like recovery tool kind of person, and so like I'm probably not the best person to ask on that. But then again, because I'm not, and I do think that they're like very helpful to have. Like I wish I had access to one regularly. So maybe that is a pretty good endorsement. I'm really hoping that one of those companies will just send me a set of boots. That would be great. But I don't think that I'll be paying for a pair because they're like $1,200 or something like that, 800 to $1,200, depending on the brand and like how high up they go. You can get just like from like the knee down, I think, or you can get all the way up to like the hips, and so like there's different lengths and there's different strengths and all sorts of stuff. So it can get pretty complicated. But do I think they're worth it? Yeah, but it is really expensive. Um, so that's kind of my thought. Um, all right, I gotta get going because I gotta get back. There's another company. I think Camelback is up next, or soon, and I want to make sure I can check that out for this thing. This like kind of like virtual convention kind of thing that I'm going to. So I'm gonna go check that out. But yeah, hopefully it's interesting, and hopefully no one's mad that I was kind of like in the Q&A having a little bit of fun. But I've had a fun with you guys interacting here, and maybe that's why I just got so used to and comfortable to like the tenor and like the casualness of these chats here. But I've been really enjoying it and having a lot of fun with it. So hopefully you guys have too. Thanks everyone for listening. Hope you had good runs today, and if you haven't, hope you're safe as you guys are getting out there and getting after it. So I'll see you guys tomorrow, either 6 a.m. at the Instagram live stream or 3 p.m. back here on YouTube. Thanks everyone for checking in. I'll see you guys soon.